Greetings, humans. Hello. Welcome to today's practice. And we're slowing things down a little bit today and working in through the hips, the abdomen, the lower back. This one will be a specialty for my friends that practice jujitsu. We'll be working on a lot of the spaces and places that tend to get pretty tight. So to start, we'll come into child's pose, but with the knees wide and the big toes touching. You might want to, just before you get too set up, grab your blanket and place it underneath your knees, because we will do some stuff on the knees after this child's pose. So just make sure your child's pose feels nice and comfortable. You could stack your forehead on your block if that feels better than your head down to the ground. Just make your stay comfortable. I'll read a piece from the How to Fight book by Thich Nhat Hanh. Let's see what comes up for us all today. Listening to ourselves. Sometimes when we attempt to listen to another person, we can't hear them because we haven't listened to ourselves first. Our own strong emotions and thoughts are so loud in our heart and in our head, crying out for our attention, that we can't hear the other person. Before we listen to another, we need to spend time listening to ourselves. We can sit with ourselves, come home to ourselves, and listen to what emotions rise up without judging or interrupting them. We can listen to whatever thoughts come up as well, and then let them pass without holding on to them. Then, when we've spent some time listening to ourselves, we are able to listen to those around us. So, of course, our practice of yoga is practicing listening to ourselves. So listen to the messages of your body through our practice today. Observe your edges as they come up, and know that you don't need to push into your edges. You need to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Rock your forehead side to side. Become aware of any tension hanging on in the neck. And come into stillness. Slowly walk your hands in to bring your upper body up. If you were using the block, just set it aside. And adjust into tabletop pose, bringing your hips away from your heels and sliding your knees in and underneath the hips. Cat-cow, 3 rounds, working the space in the spine. We dip the belly down on the inhale, open the heart, lift the tail, and we arch the back up on the exhale. Pubic bone draws toward the sternum, palms and knees press down. Follow your breath. Notice the edges of your movement here. And coming into neutral spine after your last cat pose. Let's bring the right knee out to the right. Little puppy, big fire hydrant. And then just start to draw little circles. Whatever direction you start is fine, just little circles. And then make the circles bigger. And bigger. And reverse, go the other way. Start big. Get smaller and smaller. And bring your right knee down and slide it toward your right wrist. Lengthen your left leg back and sit your right glute to your right heel. Come up onto your fingertips. You could walk the hands in a little closer to lift your chest, and just pause here for a moment. Maybe you can stack your hands on your front thigh and press your chest to the ceiling. Nice and easy. Fingers come down, palms to the mat, slide your back knee in and come back to table with your right leg. Left knee opens up to the left. Keep your arms straight and strong. I know that's super challenging here, but do your best to stay straight and strong in the arms. Little circles with the left knee. Whatever direction you start is great. Circles get bigger and bigger. Notice the range of motion in your hip socket here. And reverse, start big. Nice. And get smaller. And smaller. And bring your left knee down and slide it forward to your left wrist. Your right leg lengthens back, your left glute comes toward left heel. Fingers walk in. Or nice and high with the chest. And again, optional, stack your hands on your left thigh. I find this variation easier personally, but see what works for you. Push your chest to the ceiling. And take your time. Fingers come back down to the mat. Inch your back knee and your front knee back. Table. Child's pose. Knees hip distance apart. Arms forward. Or you could have your hands stacked for your forehead. Whatever is most comfortable. Breathe in and out. Rock your forehead side to side. And come all the way into stillness. Beautiful. So let's just come into table for a sec. You want to grab your block, place it on its medium height setting, widthwise across your mat, and align it underneath your sternum, more or less. And now from here, we're moving into a supported puppy stretch. So let one of your forearms come down so you have your other hand free to adjust the block, but we want to have the block pretty well underneath the sternum. So make the adjustments you need to have that accommodate your body. Then once you feel good with that, let your forehead come down and extend forward through the arms, pressing your fingertips into the mat, and your elbows and wrists are off of the ground. So your arms are long and strong, and you can feel your shoulder blades drawing slightly in and down. And then you push your fingertips into the ground. And breathe. Feel your hips as they stack over your knees. Your navel can draw inward. And as you do that, think about also your hips moving slightly back. The tiniest movements from your hips moving slightly back, your fingers inch slightly forward. Breathe. Beautiful. Couple more cycles of breath here. Nice and easy. Relax through your arms and just slide the elbows toward you. When you can safely place weight into your elbows, you can press your chest off of the block and come up onto your hands and set the block aside. You're back in tabletop pose. Your right hand comes to the back of your head. Your right elbow faces out to the right. Push down through your right knee and reach up through your right elbow. Breathe in. As you breathe out, draw your right elbow down and see if you can tap your left arm. Then inhale, open up. Press down through your right knee as the elbow reaches up. Big opening. Exhale, crunch it down and round. Reach for the left arm. One more time. Inhale, all the way up. And exhale, crunch it over. Holding here. And keep your body in the same position, but just release your hand so you can thread the needle over to the left. Let your right shoulder come down, your head comes down. We're on to the left fingertips and thumb tips. Left elbow above the wrist, you see 90 degrees with the arm. Press into those fingertips as you press your left knee down to the ground. Feel your belly draw inward. Look up to your left shoulder. Breathe. One more breath in and out. Press into the left hand, come all the way up to table. Bring your left hand behind your head, elbows out to the side. Left knee presses down, left elbow reaches up to the ceiling. Notice all that space between left hip and left armpit. Exhale, we crunch down and round as we tap left elbow to right forearm. Ish. Inhale, open up. Knee presses down, big open heart, and exhale, round and tap the forearm. One more time, all the way up and open. Notice how strong you are. And we come down to crunch and round. And just hold your body in this position, but gently release your left hand to thread the needle over to the right. Left shoulder comes down, your head comes down. We come onto right fingertips and thumb tips, align elbow over wrist, 90 degrees with your right arm. Press into the fingers to open your chest to the right. Look up to your right shoulder. Press your right knee to the ground. Draw your belly in. Push your left knee down. Push your right knee down again and rotate your chest more to the right. Breathe. Press into the right fingertips and bring yourself back up to table. Beautiful. From here, bring your right foot forward between your hands. We're walking our left knee back into a long lunge, so make sure your left knee is supported by your blanket. The right knee is above the right ankle, and we have this sensation like we're pulling the right knee forward. This is going to also help open up the back hip. Untuck your left toes. Feel the strength in your front leg. Sweep your fingers forward and up. Then your thumbs face the wall behind you, palms face each other, thumbs reach back. Keep your right knee reaching forward as you reach your fingers back. Straighten your arms as best as you can. Reach, reach, reach. Yeah, hands don't have to touch. Shoulder width apart. And on your next exhale, fingers come forward and down. Full breath in, chest faces forward. As we breathe out, pull your hips back, lengthen your right leg, toes shine to the ceiling, flex the foot, toes flare back toward the face, spread them out wide, your chest is pulling forward. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, come back to your lunge. Your right knee pulls forward, your fingers sweep forward, shoulder width apart, reach the thumbs back, exhale. Reach the fingers away, away, away. Yes, shoulder blades down. Beautiful, hands forward and down. Hips pull back, lengthen front leg, toes shine to the ceiling. Spread the toes wide, let your chest come lower down to your shin this time. And we'll bend back into front knee again one more time. Keep the arms shoulder width apart. Pull your thumbs back. Reach the right knee forward. Yes. Breathe in. Breathe out. Hands forward and down. Slide your hips back. Right toes shine to the ceiling. Your chest inches forward. Option to stay here or slide your right heel forward to your edge. You might come into dragon split, but maybe not. Don't worry about it either way. Find the space that works for you today. Breathe. Pressing into your fingers, pull your hips back to slide your front leg forward or front leg backward. Bend into your right knee. Slide your left knee in and then bring your right knee back. Plant your palms. You're in table pose. Tuck your toes. Downward dog just for a breath in and out here. Feel your chest move to your shins. Your head relax. And bring your knees back down to the mat. Left foot comes forward between the hands. And give yourself a moment to set up. We're doing lots of lunges, right? So make sure that you've got good support in your right knee. So walk the right knee back. You can feel the hips sink. Untuck your right toes. Your left knee is above the ankle. Your knee also feels like it's reaching forward. Notice the strength. That's what we want to find. Keep your hands shoulder width apart. Reach them forward and back. Thumbs pull to the wall behind you. Yeah. Feel your right knee inch forward as your fingers reach back, shoulder blades down. Breathe. And exhale. Fingers forward and down. They come down to the mat. Hips pull back as we lengthen left leg. Toes shine to the ceiling. Spread them wide. We're just gazing forward here. Press the big toe ball mound a little bit further forward on the left foot. And we'll bend into left knee. Sweep the fingers up and back. Find the softening here. Can your hips sink as your left knee inches forward? And you are strong the whole time. You're not lazy. And release. Fingertips come down to the mat. Hips pull back, lengthen left leg. Left toes shine to ceiling. This time chest lowers a little closer toward the shin. We pull the chest to the toes. Breathe in and out. And we bend back into left knee. Sink the hips. Take your time. Fingertips sweep up and back. Big opening. And fingers come forward and down. Hips pull back, toes shine to the ceiling, and we have the option to slide the left heel forward and find dragon split, your variation of it. Breathe in, breathe out. Notice which side is tighter. For me, this side is tighter. Breathe in, open your heart. Breathe out, gather the strength in your abdomen and in your hips. Slide your hips back with strength. Left leg slides in, then bend your knee, walk your right knee in, and come back to table. This time we'll lower the forearms down, elbows to the mat, tuck your toes, come into dolphin pose, hips up. Let your head relax, but not touch the floor. Push your elbows down. Slide your belly backward toward your thighs, then lift your heels up as you do that. One more breath. And exhale, lower the knees down. We'll untuck the toes and sit up onto the shins. All right, so time for some hero's pose. You've got block, you've got bolster, you've got blanket. You are going to choose what is best for your support. So from our seated on the shins, just lift your hips, open your feet wider than your hips, and sit the hips down. So we want the knees in line with the front of the hips and the soles of the feet facing the ceiling. So you can sit up on a block, you could have that bolster under your hips, you can have a blanket. Whatever you need to do to be able to find yourself in this position in a comfortable way. There might be a little edge, but it's not in the knees and it's not in the ankles. Your sit bones are evenly grounded. Inhale, circle your arms around and up to the ceiling. Keep your shoulders down. Interlace your fingers, flip the palms up. So this will help you root your hips down as you reach the palms upward. Breathe in and out of the nose, just nice and easy with your breathing. And we'll release the hands, let them circle down. Now you could stay tall in your hero's pose, or if available, you can walk the hands behind you. Now, depending on your practice, you may have the hands behind you. You may bring the hands to your feet and have the elbows drop back. You may come all the way into a reclined position and relax the arms overhead. So we've got a few cycles of breath for you to go to the edge that suits you today. If you do come to the fully reclined position, of course, your shins stay grounded down. They don't lift up. Your hips stay rooted down. They don't lift up. If you came all the way to a reclined position, we bring the hands to the heels to press elbows down to lift the head, and then one side at a time, you start to come up. You can come all the way back up to a tall position if you were reclined in anyway. We'll bring our hands to the mat beside us, pull your chest forward to get your hips away from the mat or off of your block, and just set your support aside if you were using. We'll then bring the feet forward. We're bringing the soles of the feet together. So you may want to block underneath your legs. You may still prefer to sit on a blanket, that's fine too, or your bolster. Grab your hands around the front of your ankles and pull your chest forward as your elbows pull back. So reach through the sternum, pull it forward, 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 and then pause when you can't pull any further forward. Push the outer side of your feet together and draw the outer sides of the legs to the ground as you release your grip of the ankles and bring the hands to the mat in front of you, wherever feels good. Then from there, continuously inch your sternum forward as you keep the outer thighs down and relax perhaps even your elbows down. There's a chance that you could relax your head on a block, or maybe you want to relax your head down onto stacked hands, or just relax your head. You don't need to use the support. Keep the action though of sliding your chest forward and then working the outer legs down. Breath is in and out of the nose. Relax through your jaw. Two more cycles of breath here. And your next inhale, start to walk yourself up. You could close the legs together. Give them a little shake. Beautiful. Now we'll sweep the legs around back and come down onto the belly. So untuck your toes. And from here, we'll bring our fingertips onto the mat and we're coming wide. So the hands will be outside the mat. You might have your fingers turned slightly outward, turned forward, turned inward. You can play with it as we go along. We'll be here for a bit. So just know that you can play with these little shifts. Let your forehead come all the way down. And then just draw your shoulders down as your forehead's down. Press into the fingertips. Imagine there's a marble under your nose and start to roll it forward as you press into your fingertips and come up into an easy cobra, looking up to the ceiling and coming all the way back down, nice and smooth, forehead to the ground. And then just continue waving yourself up, nice and smooth, and coming down. So you want to continue moving with your breath and observe the movement of your spine. So the gaze shift, looking up to the ceiling, that's the last thing that happens. We start to look forward, but we're lifting the chest first and foremost. And we come down. So just working the spine as fluidly as you can. And coming down. So now we'll keep doing this, but we'll come up and then look over your right shoulder. Maybe you can see your right foot, and then we come down. So we're just shifting the positioning of the spine, and then when we come up, we'll go over to the left. And down. So Keep going side to side. If your fingertips get sore, you can plant your palms down at this point. You might find that a little easier, but you can still keep the arms wide. And just notice what space is opening for you. Maybe your head starts to even feel a little bit lighter here. After you've done one more to the left, just come all the way down. Let your arms rest by your sides and rest on your left cheek. Bend your knees and reach your hands for your ankles. Look forward. Inhale, lift your chest and lift your knees. Pull your toes to the wall behind you. Breathe in and breathe out here. Gaze upward to the ceiling. And release. Come all the way down. Rest on your right cheek. Arms down by your sides. Bend through your knees. Reach the hands for the ankles. Forehead faces down. Float the head up, float the chest, float the thighs. Reach the toes back, look upward. And keep pulling your toes back. Lift your feet, pull the toes back. Lift your feet, pull the toes back. And release. Come all the way down. Stack your hands to rest your forehead. Beautiful. From here, just nice and easy, press yourself up into a sphinx. We don't even have to really take the position. We're just getting up so that we can grab the bolster. And grab the bolster and put it underneath your ribs, so underneath your chest, so that you feel supported in your sphinx here. Cool. And we'll just hang out here for a sec. Inch your legs back, make sure the legs are hip distance apart, and untuck your toes. And let your hips just relax here. And if it's available, just let your upper body start to come down. You can stack your hands or even let your forehead rest all the way down. If it feels like it's cutting off your breathing in a weird way, inch the bolster up a little higher. So just reposition. So just make sure the bolster is not on your diaphragm area. So it's on the front, like the sternum, the front of the ribs. Good. Now from here, lengthen your left arm forward. And you want to feel your left arm reaching forward enough that you can sense your lat toward your bolster. Okay, so your latissimus, the outer side of the left rib is coming toward the bolster. As you start to roll on your left side, let your right knee face the ceiling as you step behind yourself, and your left leg can stay straight, or you can bend the left knee for a little bit more ease. See what feels good for you. Your right arm can just come to your right thigh, and you can let your head relax on your left arm. Now, if available, your right foot can step a little further behind you, and your right hand can slide to your right ankle. So you're able to open your chest without falling off the bolster and receive the support on the outer left ribs. So if you want to feel your chest open more, you can push into your right toes to actively open the chest rather than fall off your bolster. But you can also just chill it out. And then release. Slowly roll back down onto the chest. And then roll over to the right side. So same thing, you want to reach your right arm forward enough that you roll to the outer ribs properly. Let the head come down onto your bicep. And your right knee can just bend for comfort. Your left knee bends as you step behind yourself. Left arm can just come down the left side of the body. And hang out here. If available, your left hand can reach toward your left ankle as you step the foot back, and you can let your chest open a little bit more, but without falling off the bolster. You can adjust, of course, the position of your bottom arm for your head support. You can press into the back foot so you can open your hips more to the right. All kinds of little things. Just see where you like hanging out today. And nice and easy. Release from where you've gone and come all the way back onto the belly or onto the chest with the bolster. Let your head relax down again. See if you can let your forehead come all the way to the ground. And nice and easy, pick up the head, adjust yourself onto your back, keeping the bolster supporting the same area. So we want the bolster across the upper back. And you can bring your hands behind your skull here and just let your head relax back with the support of the bolster under the chest. If the hands still don't feel like enough support, you can of course use your block as a pillow. Keep your knees bent and just let all that lovely opening happen across the chest. Notice the balance across your hips. Make sure they're both balanced and not leaning more weight to one side. If you're starting to feel good here, maybe you can slide your hands out from under your head at this point and just let your arms relax. Bring your feet as wide as your yoga mat. And just let your knees gently fall to the right. And keep your back flat on the bolster. Slowly bring your knees to center and over to the left. Now come back to center. As the knees go to the right, slowly look to the left. Doesn't have to be a big movement. We're just thread or flossing through the nerves. Come to center with your knees and with your head, and the knees gently fall left as we look to the right. So keep doing this action and try to smooth it out as best as you can, so you can really feel how your whole body works together here. It does not matter how far down your knees go. It does not matter how far you move through your head. What matters is that you can smooth it out and your upper body stays supported by your bolster. Your upper body really doesn't move at all. It's just your head that's moving and your knees. Just do a few more rounds here. Eventually come all the way back to center. Breathing in and out. Draw your heels in toward your hips and start to lift your hips off of the mat. Up, 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 up. Get your back off of the bolster with strength, and then slide your bolster down underneath your hips as you let the hips come down. Bring the knees over the hips and your hands onto your kneecaps. And just draw little circles with your knees. Keep going that same direction. Just little circles. That's all you can do here. And then go the other way. We'll come all the way to stillness. Now keep your right knee into your chest, hands come around the shin or the back of the thigh, and bring your left foot to the mat. Then drag your left heel along the ground to lengthen your left leg as your right knee pulls in. So this is really good for the abdomen, for the psoas, for the hip flexors. Enjoy the breath in and out. Press your left heel away from you and down to the ground. And release your right leg. Let the foot come down to the mat. Bring your left knee all the way into your chest. Hands wrap around the shin or the back of the thigh. Thigh pulls in nice and deeply as you drag your right heel along the ground to straighten your right leg. And breathe in and out here. Breath moves in and out of the nose. Press the right heel away. Give yourself even more of a squeeze on the left side. And nice and easy. Release. Let the left foot come down to the mat. Drag the right heel in beside the left. Press into your feet to lift the hips up and away from the bolster and set the bolster aside. Let the hips come down. Arms can be out in a cactus position. Just make sure your shoulder blades are flat and your head is inched away from your shoulders. Cross your right thigh over your left. And start to relax your knees over to the right. Keep your shoulders flat. Find your edge here. Just breathe in and out. And we'll come back to center and over to the left. And make this really nice and smooth. So just see where your body will go. Bring the knees back to center. And then as they lower to the right, you look left. Smooth it out. Knees come through center as you look center, and then to the left with the knees and to the right with your gaze. And just keep going. Try to go smooth and slow and let your body just naturally unfold, because that's really what's happening. And if you don't like the head movement with it, you don't have to do it. Notice which areas feel a little bit rigid or stuck. And notice the spaces that are so happy to freely just open up. So next time you come to the right, just hold. Just stay there. We'll come back through center. And we'll lower over and down to the left. Now, optional, if you want to bring your knees up a little closer to your left elbow, we're staying here for a bit. Your shoulders stay flat. And nice and easy. We come all the way back up to center. Uncross through the legs. Maybe give them a little shake. And we'll do the other side. Left thigh crosses over the right. Make sure your shoulder blades are still flat. And we'll start to the left this time. So let your knees just gently drop left, and we'll just hang out there for a sec. We'll come back to center and let the knees drop to the right. Just nice and easy. Just notice where they go. Then we start to bring the awareness of the head, so the knees come back to center and to the left as we look to the right. Then we come back to center. As the knees come to the right, we look to the left. So just continue at your own pace, going back and forth, noticing the little bits that open up for you each repetition. And remember, if it does bother your neck, you don't need to do that part. Breath is nice and easy in and out of the nose. So the next time you have your knees over to the left, just pause. We'll hang out here for a few cycles of breath again. Notice all that amazing space that's opening up in your lower back and your outer right hip. And we'll come back to center and over and down to the right. Your left shoulder stays down. And of course, there's the option to sneak the knees up a little closer toward the right elbow. Take your time. Knees come back up to center. Uncross through the legs. Bring the soles of the feet together. Let the knees open wide. Reclined butterfly pose. And just close through the eyes. Notice your body relaxing into the mat. So we'll shift our breathing pattern for the next few movements and the next little bit of our session here to close. So we'll be working through the square breathing, and we'll use a smaller number because we'll be moving around. So let's say for the count of 4. So we want to inhale for the count of 4, Hold for 4. Exhale for 4. Hold for 4. In for 4. Hold for 4. Out for 4. Hold for 4. And continue that. And if you fall off track, just start again. Continue with your breathing. Inhale, close the legs together. Pull them into the chest as you hold. Exhale, hands on the kneecaps. Hold. Continue with your breathing and draw circles with your knees. Your big toes touch. Keep going in the same direction you started. Cross your right ankle over your left. Stay with your breathing. Reverse the circle. Keep drawing circles, left ankle on top of right. And come all the way into stillness. Uncross through your ankles. And let the soles of the feet come down. Breathe all the way in and out on your breathing pattern though. Just notice how the breath is balancing you. And at this point, you could extend the number that you're using. So maybe you can increase your counting to the number 7. So you inhale for 7, hold for 7, exhale for 7, and hold for 7. So continue with this breath with your eyes closed. Lengthen down one leg at a time and let your arms relax wherever is comfortable. Notice the quality of each part of your breath. Feel your skin soften and your muscles relax. Listen to the messages of your body, not of the ego, not of the mind, of the body. Let the breathing cycle go and allow your natural breath to flow in and out. And on your next inhale, enjoy a nice long stretch and reach through the body. Drag your heels along the ground, eventually bringing knees in for a hug and a rock side to side. Eventually rolling yourself up into a seated position that feels comfortable for you. Let's bring palms to heart center and just notice how you're feeling, all the spaces and places that you got to release. Let's draw a complete breath in of loving gratitude into ourselves and a full breath out of loving gratitude for everyone else. And thanks for our practice today. Namaste. And I sure hope you feel nice and refreshed and ready for the day. So we'll see you again soon. Much love, everyone. Bye.